Mac Security: How to secure your Mac and iDevices and avoid common vulnerabilities. This is the Mac presentation from February 2016, given by Nani Marcaset. What are vulnerabilities? External vulnerabilities are viruses, malware, and Trojan horses. Internal vulnerabilities are ones we create ourselves and include weak passwords, sharing too much personal information on public websites like Facebook, visiting sites that contain your sensitive information on a public computer or on a public website, visiting bad websites, ones that offer free movies, music, cheap goods and services, clicking on links in emails you receive, not having your computer, iDevices password or passcode protected, and or having a weak passcode or password for your device, having the same password or similar for all sites, not keeping your OS and iOS and apps up to date, and of course spilling coffee on your keyboard or dropping your device. Of all the vulnerabilities listed above, your greatest vulnerability is your passwords. This is just a little diagram that I've created to emphasize the fact that the greatest weaknesses and vulnerabilities come from your passwords. Some passwords examples. Here are some examples of weak passwords. Obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is bad. And Jack, 0322, obviously Jack and his birthday. Or wonder, we think it's clever by replacing the O, the O with the 0, or the E with a 3, or in princess, putting a 1 instead of an I, or Sam can marry, the names of your children, or your birthday, 12/29/40. Here are some examples of strong passwords. W, capital H, X, 9, V, M, 5, capital G, S, 7, Z, R. Or VXQ, capital C, 1, capital K, Y, P, capital D, 7, quotation mark. How to create strong passwords. Make it at least 12 characters. Have your password contain numbers, capitals, small letters, and symbols. Do not use passwords or words that are found in the dictionary. And don't use names associated with you, your family, or your pets. Don't use your birthdays. And make sure that you use a password that's unique for each site. If you want to check the strength of your password, go to this website, http://www.takecontrolbooks.com/resources/0148/ZXCVBN/. How to remember your passwords? Well, basically, the hint is you don't. So there are 3 ways to manage your passwords. The first and the least desirable is to turn on autofill in your Safari preferences. Here you'll see a little diagram of your Safari preferences. Under passwords, click on autofill. On the bottom, you'll be able to click on that box to see what the password is. This is the least secure way to do it, because if you don't have all your devices password or passcode protected, anybody can open up and get into any site that you have recorded a password for. The second is a little bit more difficult. Number 2, if you really don't want to go any further, use keychain access on your computer. It's found in the Utilities folder in your Applications folder. Basically, when you check into a website and you record a password, it's indicated here and kept. It's not a very robust way of doing it, but it's better than nothing. The third way to do it, and the optimum, is to use a password manager. The best two on the market today, I think, are 1Password and LastPass. Both can be gotten from the app stores, either on your Mac or on your iOS devices. Set up two-step verification for any site that has this feature. This, however, requires you to have a mobile device on which you can receive a generated code to complete the sign-in process. This code will be sent to you via a special app on your iDevice or via an SMS message if you are using an iPad. How does it work? Number one, you have to go to the site, you enter your password, you receive a randomly generated code on your phone, and you go back and enter that as a second password on the site. Here's an example. I've just signed into the Apple site with two-step verification, and I've entered my password for the site. Now I receive a verification code on my iPhone. It appears on the home screen. I go back to my computer and I enter the code in the boxes that appear. Here are some sites that offer two-step verification: Google, Gmail, Facebook, Apple, iTunes, iCloud, and many banks and investment sites. What to do if you think you've been compromised? The first thing is to change the password for the compromised site. Change the security questions and answers that you have set up. Change the passwords for other sites. It's a good idea to set up a prioritized list of sites that need to have passwords changed. All your email accounts, bank and investment accounts, Facebook and other social sites, Amazon, Netflix, eBay, PayPal, Apple ID, and iCloud. These are just some of the more important sites that we use every day. I also recommend that you set up a schedule to change your passwords every 6 months, at least for the most important sites. What to do if you get constant pop-ups in your web browser warning you that your computer has been compromised. Please do not click on the link that they have. Do not download the suggested app that they claim will clean your computer. And do not call the telephone number listed and give them any personal information. Instead, do these two things. In Safari, Firefox and Chrome have similar procedures. Go to the Safari menu and click on Clear History. Then, in Safari Preferences, go to Privacy and make sure Allow from Websites I Visit is clicked, and then remove all website data. The other thing you should have clicked is Ask Websites Not to Track Me. What about malware, viruses, Trojan horses, and hackers? These are vulnerabilities that come from external sources. A virus is a type of malware that gets installed on your computer without your permission and has the ability to create havoc with your computer. This type of malware is at this point practically non-existent on Macs because of the safeguards Apple has set up. The types of malware that Mac users must be aware of are called Trojan horses. These are pieces of software that can piggyback on other software to get into your computer. Basically, you give them permission without knowing it. Do you need antivirus software to protect yourself from these? On a Mac, I say no. Instead, follow these 4 rules. Number 1, keep your Mac updated. Make sure you have the latest operating system, and when incremental updates come through, make sure to install them. Update apps that you use when you are notified of the updates, and if you want, turn auto update on if you want system preferences to just handle it for you. You do this by going into your computer system preferences and clicking on the App Store and turning auto update on. Number 2, download software only from trusted sites. Here are some safe sites: the Mac App Store, Adobe, Microsoft, AgileBits. Just remember, if an offer is too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true. Number 3, stay informed and research an unknown site before you download from it. There are 2 good sites to check and to help you keep informed. One of them is macrumors.com and the other is cultofmac.com. 4, do not click on links contained in emails you receive. As frustrating as this is, you are safer if you open your web browser and manually put in the address. Don't copy it. Gmail now has 2 new symbols to inform you if your email is being sent encrypted and if the person you are receiving the email from is the actual person sending the email. The first is represented by a lock and the second by a question mark. Here's some extra protection as well. In Safari Preferences, under General, make sure Open Safe Files is unchecked. You want to be able to control what gets installed on your computer. The second is in your System Preferences, under Security and Privacy, choose Mac App Store and Identified Developers. What this means is nothing can get downloaded from sites that Apple hasn't certified. If there is a piece of software that you really want to have and it comes from another site, you can then go back into your system preferences here, click on Anywhere, install the application, then go back to System Preferences and change back to Mac App Store and Identified Developers. Firewalls. Firewall lets you block incoming traffic to particular programs, meaning it is only useful if there are programs on your computer that you want to restrict in terms of incoming information. If that's not the case, and if you use the internet primarily behind a secure router, you probably don't need to enable a firewall at all. This concludes the presentation on Mac security.